Sports fans, baseball fans, something's come up, and it's groundbreaking to all of us who are subscribed to me, subscribed to everyone on here, all the YouTube fans, whether you watch sports videos, music, politics, whatever. Something groundbreaking has happened, and I'll tell you what that is. I bought the new U2 360 DVD at Target. Oh my god, it's intense. You guys gotta watch it. But anyways, besides that, something else that's groundbreaking has happened. Um, and it's awful, completely awful. But at the same time, it's incredible. It's beautiful. It's amazing. Whatever word you want to use. For the dummies out there, let's get down to what happened. Armando Galarraga, pitcher of the Detroit Tigers, playing against the Cleveland Indians, who have been having some trouble as of late, has a perfect game going. Very tricky pop-up. I don't even know who's in center field who caught that ball. Gets one out. Routine ground ball, 2 outs. And ground ball to second baseman. Galarraga goes to cover first. Catches it, tags the base, and it looked like he was safe. But he was called out by first base umpire of the night, Jim Joyce. Replay seconds later shows Jim Joyce was clearly wrong in that call. And that Armando Galarraga had beaten the runner, not only beaten the runner, but beaten the runner by a long shot. And of all plays, this wasn't in the first inning, this wasn't the fifth, it wasn't in the seventh. It was the last out of a perfect game. Armando Galarraga, between you and me and all baseball fans, the other night threw a perfect game. And Jim Joyce, in a bad umpiring call, took it away from that young man. And that's what he said in a press conference. Jim Joyce is a veteran at what he does. He's a veteran in the Major League Baseball umpiring business. And to see someone of his caliber with all that experience in such a crucial point, in such a crucial moment, make that kind of call makes you scratch your head. In what would have been a third perfect game in baseball so far, which I believe would have hit a record. But now Armando Galarraga is not going to be remembered for getting that close to a perfect game. Jim Joyce is going to be remembered for blowing that call. But you get the awful call aside, and then you go to the next day. You see nothing but an incredible example of what all sports should be like. The ones who play the game, the ones who officiate the game, the ones who watch the game. The next day, which was this afternoon, continuing the series of Tigers Cleveland, Jim Joyce was the home plate umpire, and delivering the lineup card was the pitcher in the prior evening, Armando Galarraga. Obviously, Jim Joyce was choked up beyond belief. He is incredibly upset. Major League Baseball gave him the option of taking the night off and not having to do any umpiring business in that game, but he wanted to do it. He wanted to take his punishment. He wanted to take what the players and the fans sent in his direction. He wanted to be there to own up to his wrongdoing, to take his punishment. And for someone to do that, it shows that they're a real man and they are willing to go out there and admit they were wrong, and that is the classest that you can be. And to the Detroit fans, you guys know who you are. To the ones who booed, I don't think that was classy. Jim Joyce, yeah, he screwed up. He screwed up big time. But he stood there. He took the heat from the Tiger players, the Tiger coaching staff, the Tiger fans, the press, and he owned up. He showed up the next day as the home plate umpire and took his punishment and did his job. And that is a great sign of class. And even a bigger sign of class, the pitcher, Armando Galarraga. He didn't get the perfect game. He stood there, he smiled. He didn't say one word. He kept pitching, got the next guy out, pitched the rest of his game. In a press conference, he said, I feel bad for the guy because everyone's on him. He's a human. People make mistakes. And Armando Galarraga, I think, last night and this afternoon proved that he is one of, if not the classiest guy in Major League Baseball to date. And ESPN put it very nicely. In a Major League Baseball time period where it's a steroid era and you don't get truths and apologies from anyone, it shows that there's still some class and sportsmanship to the game. Armando Galarraga gave Jim Joyce a hug. He accepted his apology. He said, you know what? He's a human. People make mistakes. He could have had a perfect game. And he went over and hugged Jim Joyce, handed him the lineup card, and got on with his business. And that, my friends, is class at its best. And there's no doubt about it. I was on Twitter that night, and I saw a really funny tweet. And this goes back to my Dallas Braden thing. It said Armando Galarraga showed more class in losing his perfect game than Dallas Braden did in winning his. And folks, if there's a more classy player out there than Armando Galarraga in Major League Baseball today, point him out to me. We've seen one of the worst calls in baseball, one of the worst moments, one of the worst calls in baseball history. To 24 hours later having one of the most amazing moments that baseball has ever seen. And you could disagree with me all you want, but the way that Armando Galarraga handled it and the way Jim Joyce owned up to his mistakes shows incredible class coming from both of these gentlemen. And if you think otherwise, then that's your problem, and there's something seriously wrong with you. But I want to give a personal applause to Armando and Jim for a fantastic job in handling the situation. A fantastic and incredibly classy job of handling the situation on both sides of the story, of the dispute. That's that. This just gives everyone another excuse to holler at Bud Selig in Major League Baseball to set up the replay. I think we should have the replay. I'm not going to go crazy over it and shout out reasons why I think so, because I'm not that strong of a believer in it. I believe it should be there, but I'm not going to go give you an arm and a leg to get the replay going. I think what's going to happen is Bud Selig and all his Major League Baseball friends are going to wait for the situation to boil over, which eventually won't be forgotten, but eventually it will boil over, and I think then we'll just get back to the little pitter-patter of the instant replay, and I don't think it'll happen, at least anytime soon. That's my opinion on that. Once again, unbelievable class from Armando Galarraga and Jim Joyce. I have nothing but utmost 100% respect for both of these gentlemen, the umpire and the pitcher. So you guys have a good one. I'll talk to you later. This is GGman101. Follow Twitter. A lot of fun stuff. I promise you. You will get tweets in the middle of the night about how I'm feeling. No, I'm just kidding. U2360. You guys have a good one. Good night. Where's the stop button? There it is. Peace.